Doing your undergrad in the UK is shorter compared to doing it in Nigeria. The resources that the university has tend to be better, and there are generally just more opportunities for you here rather than there. But there are downsides to doing your undergrad abroad, especially in the UK, and that's going to be the focus of this video. So the structure this video is going to take is I'm going to go through three main broad points. Some of them have sub-points under it on what, in my experience, I have found to be the downsides of doing my undergrad abroad. I'm going to give a couple of disclaimers because people can be very somehow. First of all, this applies to undergrad. I don't think it applies broadly to postgraduate study because I struggle to find any downsides of doing it here, minus the fact that it's super expensive. And it's important to note that I started university here when I was 16, and I know lots of people who started university underage, and so that gives you context as to like what life experience you're meant to get. Because although university is an academic experience, it's also a very social experience, and particularly with that social side, it differs very much from Nigeria and here, and that's the focus of the video. Okay, cool. So the first one, I think personally I'd have done better academically if I had gone to uni in Nigeria. And that's just because I understand the system more. What they ask for me here, I've never been asked for it in my life. In Nigeria, it's a thing of if you read, you'll pass. There's no in between about it. Spend time in the library, you will do well. They're asking you, what is this? Explain this. Why do you think this? And I'm used to the system. I understand the system. And if you look at my academic track record, it's not too far-fetched to think I would have gotten the first class if I had gone to a Nigerian uni. Once again, because that is the system that I grew up with. I grew up 16 years of my life there, and I understand it. As compared to here, especially for law is very particular because they are just asking for a lot. I was assessed mainly through essays where they have questions like, Lord Denning said this, what's your opinion on this? And it's not enough to just give your opinion. You have to give your opinion backed by research, and even the articles that you will use, they gonna get level. So you need to use like a well-reputable article to say, okay, this is my point. I understand that these are some of the flaws of my arguments, but I think that's countered by this, and this person from this article in this journal said this and this and this, and it was just so different to me. I think I gave it my best shot, but it's definitely very different to what they're asking from you in terms of academics. And really and truly, it's always best to get a first from anywhere. Sidebar, I really wanted to do my master's at Cambridge. Like, that was my dream for a while in my life. The entry requirements for a Cambridge LLM is a first class degree. That's not for a scholarship. But to enter alone, your entry requirements are a first class degree. So if I had gone to Nigeria and I'd gotten a first, I could still like apply and I could still have a chance, rather than now where I don't have a first class and I can't even apply. So that's just one thing. One thing I say is a downside. It's just academically, especially for law, is very different. I'm not going to say it's harder. It's very different, and it might not be what you're used to. Second thing, which is a very big thing, that is the social side, and that has sub-points underneath it. So under the social side, I'm going to say the first thing that's very different and kind of a downside is becoming Black. So when I was in Nigeria, the identifiers that I would use is I am Yoruba. Maybe I'm from Lagos, I'm a Lagos babe. Like, these are the things that like would differentiate me from another person. And it was never even that deep. But here, it's a very different experience, especially because I'm not the majority. I found it weird more than anything else becoming the minority group. So my sense of humor is not the majority. My like standard of beauty is not the majority. In everything, I'm the minority, and that was just really weird, and it impacted other things, which are the other 2 points. First is in terms of relationships. I feel like some people have spoken about like the struggles of schooling abroad, but no one ever speaks about relationships. I'm gonna talk about it now. And the thing with relationships is just like, you live in a society where the standard of beauty is blonde hair and blue eyes. I'm not sure if it's very obvious, but I neither have blonde hair nor blue eyes. And so like the majority of people who grew up here and live here see the standard of beauty a certain way, and it's very different when like you don't fit into that. Because I'm just like, but I know I'm a fine babe, so like can you people jazz up? What's going on here? In the like fellow international students, you have a very small pool of people that you are working with, a very small pool of people that you could possibly date, go out with. And if you don't like them, tough luck, my friend. I have friends who did stay back in Nigeria to do their undergraduate degrees, and when they discuss their relationship life, I'm just like, this is crazy in comparison to like here. Things just tend to move a lot faster there, just because you have more people where like race is not a barrier, and it just seems like on a whole to be a lot harder to date here than in Nigeria. For me, that was very pertinent because I went to an all-girls school. Like for like my entire secondary school, I was in an all-girls school. So I was like, okay, cool. This is my first experience like in a mixed academic setting. You know, interesting times. I was very underwhelmed. I was very, very underwhelmed, but we thank God for life. And then the third point is the culture is just really, really different. And that like feeds into things like friendships as well. As a point in my university life, I realized, why are all my friends actually Nigerian? I'm at an international university. I should have international friends. Like what's this mini Lagos I've created for myself? Also, that cultural integration is actually such a lie, because on every university website, you see like people from different races, different ethnicities, different backgrounds, all start on a patch of green grass. That's such a lie. Everyone kind of sticks to their own lane, really. And you have to be really intentional in trying to go out there. This is just my experience, yeah. So I did at the end of the day, like I do have very international friends. I'm happy about that. So it's something I wanted to achieve, but the way in which you do it is very different, because with Nigerians it's kind of like, and when I was in Nigeria, it's been a while, so things might change. People might be making friends differently, kind of just like, guy, what's happening? And them to that, like, guy, and you're like, your friends, that's it. You do stuff, you're cool. But here, like, friendships tend to be a lot more lighthearted, and like we're friends, but like we don't talk. It's like, I know you. It's not even really friendship. It's like, oh, I know you. Do you get? And so if you do want stronger friendships with people here, not international students, people here, you have to be like, oh, let's go out for a coffee. That going out for a coffee is a very, very big thing, and that's like how you make friends, really, actually. Let's go for coffee. And the third thing, and that's the last thing, is the cost. I think doing an undergraduate degree abroad in the UK is so expensive. It's more expensive now than it was 3 years ago when I started. And I just think if you save that money that you want to use for your undergrad degree, you can do your postgrad degree as like a more reputable establishment. Like, you can do it at one of the best unis in the world. I give you an instance, like, universities in the UK for international students charge differently. They charge differently. And I'm going to say the better the uni, the more expensive the tuition fees get. And so what you would pay to go to like maybe a less well-ranked university in the UK, you would pay, like, from my research, right now, £17,000 on average for 3 years, right? Add that money together. 17 times 3. 51. Add that together for 3 years, that's £51,000 to go to, like, I'm not going to name any unis because I'm not trying to throw any shade, but like a very not well-ranked university. Meanwhile, the London School of Economics, which is like one of the best universities in the world, charges you £40,000 for a postgrad degree. So I think that's just like a consideration that I had. In conclusion, like, I'm in no way complaining about my situation. Neither am I like, oh, I wish I wasn't here. I'm very, very happy to be here. I just, based on reflecting, realized it's great, it's amazing, but there are drawbacks and there are downsides, as with everything in life. And I think I've learned a lot from coming here. Like, I think I've become a lot more independent, as you would be. I've become a lot more adaptable. I've, like, you know, I've grown a lot as a person. I think I've also integrated more into like Western society because I had 3 years to do so rather than a year. I could go more in depth into things I've actually learned from schooling in the UK, but I don't know if anyone really wants to see that, and I'm not trying to bore anybody. So if it's something you want to see, tell me in the comments and I'll make the video. I like to make this kind of videos, that my bag. It's been an amazing experience, but like I said, everything does have its drawbacks, everything does have its downsides. This video is not intended to persuade or dissuade you. I think if you are in a financial position where you can easily afford to school abroad and it's something you want to do, my dear, like, what are we talking about? But I think, like, if you're not in that financial position, or let's say like you went to uni in Nigeria, See, my dear, if you get a first class from a Nigerian university, you're putting yourself in such a great position because they just tend to be more scholarships for masters anyway. So that's how you can end up schooling here for free. So I just think focus on getting the first class if you're like in uni in Nigeria. Either way, I think this has been my experience, and I think it's very similar for a lot of international students who did their undergraduate study abroad. And so if that is you, especially if you did it in the UK, because I don't know what's happening in the US and Canada, tell me in the comments if you agree with what I'm saying, or if you think I've actually just spoken rubbish the whole way through for like 15 minutes. I'm sorry. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. So yeah. Oh, also, I'm working on something at the moment actually. So there are 166 universities in the UK, and I'm going through every single one of them, looking through their undergraduate tuition fees, their postgraduate tuition fees, and their scholarships, putting them all into an Excel sheet. And I plan on making videos like top 10 most affordable unis in the UK for undergrad, for postgrad, scholarships, and things like that. And so please keep an eye out for that, and if it's something you're interested in, like turn on your notifications so that you know when I post the video, and then you can help me to help you, because that's the purpose of this channel. All right then, that's me. I'm no longer your favorite unemployed graduate. I'm actually now an employed graduate, so I don't know how to end the video again. So I'll see you later. Bye bye.